Snoke is the new Palpatine, Rey is the new Anakin, Kira is the new Shmi, and Finn is the new Padme. And we're just gonna cut the original trilogy and paste it on. Hey guys, Final Death Star. And today, I'm going to talk about something a little different. This video is going to be based off of some of the comments I've been having back and forth with someone who commented on a few of the videos, talking about the alleged leaks, script leaks, spoilers, all that kind of stuff. They basically present a different theory, and which they believe is fact. And honestly, you know, going through this, I could see that this might be the case. When the alleged script leaks first were released or revealed, leaked, I did say, you know, this could be disinformation. It just seemed, it spread like wildfire so quickly, and it seemed a little convenient. And, you know, I said, hey, there's just spoilers, so you never know what's going to happen. And it could be a case of a disinformation campaign to get people off the trail of what's really going on with this movie. I'm going to go through their kind of breakdown of what they believe to be the case for episode 9. So they're saying it's old news that Mark Hamill had said that Lucas had planned the sequel trilogy and that Palpatine was going to play a role in it somewhat, and that Luke would die in the final film. Obviously, that was not the case. So he says it's complete BS that J.J. Abrams threw out all of George Lucas's story treatments for the sequel trilogy. He did not. Lucas created Ben Solo in the original outline, he's saying, to turn to the dark side and force Luke into hiding. Star Wars Theory did a breakdown in like 2017 about the original outline for Lucas's kind of treatments of what would be 7, 8, 9. He does have Luke kind of in hiding, and then there's a character, Kira, who goes to find him, and he has to be like the Obi-Wan character. So it's sort of like what we're getting with Disney Star Wars. They switched Kira to Rey, and then the name Kira comes into play later in this theory here. JJ took the best parts of George Lucas's treatment for his trilogy. George Lucas was told JJ's complete trilogy story from the get-go. George Lucas knows that Snoke created Rey. Kira is Rey's mother, and Luke has been training Rey for years and then made her forget to hide the Skywalker from Snoke. So the Rise of Skywalker, they're saying, is a literal interpretation of Skywalker, which is translated to the Chosen One. So it's just saying the rise of the Chosen One, and Rey is the Chosen One. In this theory, Snoke created Rey. Theory also goes to determine that Palpatine also created Anakin. There was a comic, Darth Vader number 25, that hints at this. It's by no means confirmation, although they say it is. You know, I've looked at the comic. It has a vision. Vader's having a vision, and he sees his mother, Shmi, with Palpatine kind of hovered over her, and you know, has his like hands almost on her shoulders, kind of floating above her, and it says, you know, the Chosen One or something like that, and she's pregnant. So it's unclear though, because it's not really absolutely saying that Palpatine created Vader, but it indicates it's a possibility. But if you look, she's already pregnant at the time, so it could also just mean that Palpatine was aware that the Chosen One had been born, that there was some unnatural, you know, way that this child was created, and that he felt it through the Force and latched onto it. You know, he knew who it was. So, you know, it's a little unclear, but I mean, that's neither here nor there. For this theory, it's assuming that to be true. The Chosen One is created by the Dark Lord ruling the galaxy and brings balance to the Force. They have the same power as the Dark Lord, so the creation has the same power as the one who created it. Snoke is the Dark Lord ruling the galaxy and causing a great imbalance of the Force. Snoke created Rey. Snoke made Luke think of killing Ben, wanting the Jedi to end, and giving up and wanting to die. So the reason we have Luke the way we have him in The Last Jedi, according to the theory here, is that Snoke mind controlled him to believe this. Okay, that sort of gives you an explanation, but that's also saying that Luke is this weak-minded fool, because we know from the original trilogy he tries to use a Jedi mind trick on Jabba, and it doesn't work because Jabba says, it only works on the weak-minded. So even if Snoke's all that powerful, you're saying that Luke is so below him, so below Snoke's power. He's a weak-minded fool compared to Snoke, is basically what they're saying, which I still take an issue with. Even if this is all ends up being true, I still take an issue with that Luke would be so easily manipulated. And then it goes on to say that Snoke created the intergalactic Reylo mind link, including the one at the end of the film where he was supposed to be dead. That was like one of the main theories, was that Snoke was still alive. That's kind of been forgotten because, we've got the script leak and the Emperor's appearing back in the film. So everyone's kind of forgotten that. But that was one of the main theories, was that Snoke had to still be alive because that Force link somehow was still there, even though it should have ended once Snoke died. It's also saying that Snoke was clearly Force projecting a solid doppelganger in The Last Jedi and is still very much alive and well. Snoke is the main villain of The Rise of Skywalker, not Palpatine. JJ could not put Snoke in the teaser because that would obviously ruin the surprise. Neither can he cast Emilia Clarke to play Zori Bliss, so they threw Kerry Russell in the role to divert people's expectations. Apparently this whole trilogy now is about diverting your expectations. So Rey and Anakin are the two chosen ones, or Skywalkers, that brought balance to the Force. Again, Lucas had planned for Palpatine to be in the sequel trilogy, and JJ devised a way for it to make it happen. JJ has never said Palpatine's the main villain, and never said he will be alive and well, and that's very true. That's true. That it's very unclear what role Palpatine plays. If you go along with canon, the Sith can't really manifest themselves, so he can't be like a Force ghost. If anything, he would have to inhabit, like a demon. He would have to possess an object. They did this also in one of the Vader comics. He gets a helmet from Lord Momin, and he's it's being possessed by like the essence or spirit of Lord Momin. So if anything, I guess the theory is suggesting that he will be possessing some sort of object, maybe in the Death Star. Maybe that's why they go there, or they find something he's possessing. So Snoke created Rey and Kira as her mother. This is what JJ, Rian Johnson, and KK have been hiding all along. Rian Johnson did not throw out JJ's plans for Snoke or Luke in Last Jedi. He did exactly what he wanted him to do with Snoke and Luke. All right, Palpatine's just in the teasers as a red herring to hide and reveal the real surprise and get fans interested in a film that appears to have Kylo Ren as the main villain. But I don't think that's getting people interested in the film. And honestly, maybe that is why we haven't seen. They had to use a Hot Toys figure for the main poster of Palpatine, because they didn't actually get Ian McDermott back in the makeup. Maybe it's just going to be like a voiceover. I'm just going with this theory. If this is true, then maybe they don't have him even in the makeup. Maybe it's just going to be like a voiceover thing with Palpatine. So that's why they used a Hot Toys figure, which is still terrible marketing. Like, just get the guy and take some photos of him, in the makeup for a day, and use that, or use prior stuff from. Who knows? Maybe they owed George Lucas too much money and just didn't want to pay it, so throw a Hot Figures in there and problem solved. And he also goes on to say that it's clear that Luke and Obi-Wan and Yoda have been training Rey all along for years. And then they made her forget so that she would be hidden from Snoke. It says that Yoda then made Luke forget that he trained Rey, or that he knows who Rey or Kira even are, to again hide the chosen one, Rey, from Snoke. So Luke has been just mind manipulated by everybody. We've got Snoke making him, think he's a loser, and now we've got Yoda Also, controlling Luke's mind to make him forget something. It's like, how you're just making Luke like this, just, this little, he can't think for himself. He's a ragdoll just being thrown in all directions. It's just crazy. This is not making anything better. It's giving at least, I guess, some sort of a string through this whole sequel trilogy, that there is some purpose to it. But it's been so poorly executed. I just don't think this is going to go over well. Yoda made Luke forget about Rey and Kira, so Snoke will not find out Rey is his creation. This is why Yoda never tells Luke who Rey is, stops Luke from killing himself, and gets Luke to save Rey, but more importantly, Rey's man Finn. So now we're brought Finn into this. Snoke is the new Palpatine, Rey is the new Anakin, Kira is the new Shmi, and Finn is the new Padme. And we're just gonna cut the original trilogy and paste it on. Rian Johnson has had fun trolling the fans for 2 years now. If any of this is true, here's the problem. Say this is true. Fine. You've got a theory, you've got a trilogy that seems like it had a point to it. I think it's terribly executed, but I guess it sort of still has a point to it. And apparently, if it's true, again, they used some of George Lucas's original ideas. But you had Rian Johnson and Lucasfilm trolling fans for 2 years. Calling them names, complaining about them, insulting them. If this were true, if this ends up being true, and Rian Johnson, this whole thing was like he knew what he was doing the whole time, and it was just poorly executed, but he knew what he was doing, why would you still insult the fans like that? Why not come up with a better, oh guys, things are not always as they seem. There's more to the story. There's a little mystery here. Why just insult people for having an opinion about a movie that they didn't like based on how the characters were portrayed? Give some kind of elusive answer. Oh, just stay tuned, or you think you know the whole story, there's more to come, or just something, like things aren't always as they seem. That's all they would have needed to say, and it would have, I think, saved themselves a lot of trouble. I think it would have cooled off a lot of the fan criticism, but they just stoked the fire, and for what? This isn't a way to handle it. You knew you were doing something that when the fans reacted, you had more of a plan for, but instead of kind of giving you a little, just stay tuned, you guys, you'll see where it's going, you just insulted everyone. And that's why I think people just are not really going to care, even if this ends up being true. And it's like, oh, look, they had a plan all along. This whole thing has been so poorly handled. Anyway, so let me know what you guys think in the comments. How do you feel about this theory, if this ends up being true? What do you guys think at this point with episode 9? And what theories do you like more? Let me know in the comments down below. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, share, the bells and whistles, wherever they are down there. Click on those, ding those bells. And till next time, lock the doors and hope they don't have blasters.